Notebook LM was dropped by Google. And you might be wondering, what is Notebook LM? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to show you. But we got to walk through some important things first. One of the important things, if you're using Notebook LM, if you're using Gemini, which is the AI platform, another AI platform from Google, if you're using ChatGPT through OpenAI, if you're using Claude from Anthropic, whatever AI model that you might be using, you gotta read the terms of policy. Make sure you're reading those privacy policies. And as we get started, I am going to show you not only how to use Notebook LM, but I'm also going to walk you through how to understand the privacy policies as well. I am at Notebook LM. It's really easy to find. Just type in notebooklm.google.com or just go to Google and type in Notebook LM and it'll take you to it. I am using my personal account. This is important for some of you who might be in schools, educators, psychologists, social workers, whatever your role might be. Your district you might be a Google district. And if you are a Google district, then I am pretty sure, double check, that there are data privacy agreements in place between Google and your school district or institution. Always follow your district policies and what's in place. Okay. Once you're in Notebook LM, because I am using my personal one, I never input PII. Absolutely never. If you are a Google district and you all have data privacy agreements in place or other agreements in place, make sure you're still abiding by those policy agreements that are in place. The first thing that you're going to do, you are going to find the privacy agreements. And it might not be that easy to find. So I'm going to walk you through how to find those data privacy agreements. You're going to click settings. And then once you're in settings, you're going to click Notebook LM Help. Once you're in Notebook LM Help, this is the How Can We Help You page. You see that they provide updates of what's new. The most recent updates was December 13th, 2024. You can learn more about Notebook LM, the features, troubleshooting. But here's what you're going to click. You're going to click Privacy and Policies, then learn how Notebook LM protects your data. You're going to click that, and guess what you're going to do? You're going to read it. All right. I know this might be a little bit cumbersome, but what's funny, I'm going to show you how to use Notebook LM to actually make doing things like reading terms of policy very easy. All right. And so this gives you just a quick snapshot, a quick glance. What they say is that for users accessing Notebook LM, the Google terms of service apply to your use of Notebook LM. The below notice and our privacy policy describe how Google handles your data when you interact with Notebook LM. And you can see this has already been clicked. Why? Because I read the terms of service, so you don't have to, but no, you should still go read it. And so when you come here, it just gives you all the information that you need. But here's what we're going to do. And I'm actually going to show you how you can start using Notebook LM. You're going to click download PDF. What I did is I went through, I've read all of this just because I need to know. And you can see how Google still uses your data. What's interesting is they say that they don't share your data, but then they go on to explain in instances where they will indeed share your data. So it's like, all right, which one is it? But you need to read through. You need to make sure you understand. You need to make sure that you understand their data retention policies, who they are sharing the data with, under what circumstances they're using your data, all that information as well. Okay, we'll come back to that. I'll show you how we're going to take this document. I'm actually going to go ahead and save it so that you'll be able to see, and we'll come back to that here in a second. But why I want to show you why it's important to read the terms of policy and services. We're going to use Amazon as an example. And we look back, this was in 2023. I think it was a few years earlier. This article was written in 2023. But Amazon used the voices of children that were recorded by Alexa, even after parents asked for it to be deleted. And now it's paying a $25 million fine. That's nothing, by the way, to Amazon, which is a billion-dollar company. A $25 million fine to them is like a $25 fine to, you know, most people. But anyways, they say Amazon has agreed to change how it handles children's data, including what it collects through its popular Alexa voice assistant by the end of the year, and pay the US government this fine. They settled by a federal judge. And the settlement came in 2019. You can read the complaint, but basically they accuse Amazon of holding on to children's voice recordings and transcripts of those recordings far longer than allowed under what is this? The Children's Online Privacy Protect Act, or COPPA. All right, that was passed in 1998. And if you don't know, we adhere to FERPA, HIPAA, COPPA, which is protecting children's data and privacy. These are all important things, okay? They filed this lawsuit. And here's where things start to get interesting. Although Amazon has always insisted it abides by federal privacy protections and has admitted no wrongdoing, the settlement it agreed to requires it to change how it handles users' data. Like, that's wild to say. Amazon has insisted it abides by federal privacy protections. They're admitting no wrongdoing, but yet they're settling. So what does that tell you? Oh, and by the way, these big companies can say, yeah, we're protecting your data. Yeah, we're going to keep it safe. But meanwhile, they're doing things like training their data. Like Alexa is listening to voices of everything that's happening in the room, and they were listening to the voices of children, and they kept that data for longer than what they were supposed to do, despite their policies, their retention policies, and people came after them. um so, anyways, I share this to say, like, be cognizant of these terms of policies. Again, I know it's boring, but read them to understand whether it's Amazon, Google, or School Psych AI, whatever platform it is, how they're using your data. You must be critical consumers of that as well. Okay, so now we're going to go back to Notebook LM, and they give you what's called notebooks. And to get started, you're going to click create new. You're going to create a new notebook. And then what you do from here, you just upload those sources. And so you saw that we downloaded the Google privacy policy. So then we're just going to drag and drop that source. Now, the cool thing, what you can do, you can add in as many sources as you want. And you click the sources button here, and you could add in, let me show you. You could add in from your Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Slides, links from websites, from YouTube's. You can paste in text and then upload PDFs, dot text files, markdown audio files here as well. But check this out. Here's the source limit: 1 out of 300. And that's a decent sized file. You can upload books, you can upload massive files and chat against that. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can do that in ChatGPT and other platforms as well. But I'm going to show you where Notebook LM really distinguishes itself and sets itself apart. Okay, so we have this source in here. You're going to go to chat. And inside of chat, okay, cool. It gives you an overview of what that source is. But then here's what we're going to do. You're going to click studio. Once you click that studio button, there's several things that you can do. All right. You can click study guide. You can click briefing doc. You can click timeline. You could click FAQ. And in this example, let's click FAQ. And guess what it's going to do? It's going to generate a frequently asked questions, a FAQ document based off of that document that we uploaded. Now, here we go. Understanding Google's terms of services. It's a FAQ. What is the primary purpose of Google's terms of services? The terms of services are designed to define the relationship between you and Google. Now, what it did, it took that document that we had and turned it into a FAQ. Super, super cool. All right. What if we click convert to source? You're going to click convert to source. And now we have a FAQ as another source that we have. So now we can continue chatting against both of these documents as well. Let's click back into the studio. All right. You read through it, double, triple check everything. Once you do that, you're going to go back to chat. And now you could say, should I be concerned with feeding Google my student data based on the privacy and terms of service? And then you can say, how does Google retain data? So we're saying, how does Google retain data? And why Notebook LM is hands down my favorite tool out there. If we were to do the same thing inside of Chat GPT, it would give us a summary, it would answer the question. But here's where Notebook LM really sets itself apart. It goes, it's important to understand how Google handles your data, especially student data, based on the terms of service and privacy policies. Here's a breakdown: data usage and ownership. Your content remains yours. When you upload or share content, including student data, you retain your intellectual property rights. All right, but did they make that up? I'm hovering over, you see these numbers here. If you hover over these numbers, and you click it, it goes directly to the source, y'all. The source that we included. So where Chat GPT, Claude, these other platforms can hallucinate and make things up, not in Notebook LM. Why? Because it's pulling directly from the sources that we provided it. You click it and it takes you directly to it. So I asked the question, I clicked the source, and here's what it says. Some of our services are designed to let you upload, submit, store, send, receive, or share your content. And you can see it's highlighted. You have no obligation to provide any content to our service, and you are free to choose the content you want to provide. If you choose to upload or share content, please make sure you have the necessary rights to do so, that the content is lawful. Your content remains yours. All right, which means that you retain any intellectual property rights that you have in your content. For example, you may have intellectual property rights in the creative content you make, such as reviews you write, or you may have the rights to, and then it goes on and on and on. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. This means you own the content you create. That's just saying that the ownership retains my rights, or that I retain the rights to my content. All right, cool. Google gets a license to use your content. Well, now we're getting somewhere. You grant Google a license to use your content. They're like, what? To operate and improve their services. This license is worldwide, non-exclusive, and royalty-free. And it lasts as long as your content is protected by intellectual property rights. So you're granting Google a license to use your content. All right. Now, Google's use of your data. Google uses automated systems and algorithms to analyze your content for various purposes, including combating spam, recognizing patterns and data, and customizing services. Come on now, developing new technologies and services, but they said that they're not using your content. But then it's saying, hey, here's how we're gonna analyze and use your content, developing new technologies and services. So if you're feeding Notebook LM student discipline data, even if it's de-identified, they can use that to develop new technologies and services. Let's keep going. Personalizing user experiences, including recommendations and ads. And you're wondering why you keep getting ads targeted to you. They are telling you, but you didn't read the terms of policy, and it says, hey, we're going to use this to target ads to you, to give you recommendations. All right, Google may use content you share publicly to promote their services, data retention. Now we get into the duration of the license. The license you grant to Google lasts as long as your content is protected by intellectual property rights. Removal of content. If you remove content from Google services, their systems will stop making it publicly available within a reasonable time. Well, what is the reasonable time? Exceptions, responsibilities, so on and so forth. It gives some more privacy considerations as well. So you can use this Notebook LM, and just imagine now we're talking research articles, we're talking books, we're talking just basic articles or blogs. You upload it, and now it's pulling direct sources for you. I have been very vocal about, especially if you're using Chat GPT, um, not to ask it to give you references or recommendations. And the reason I say that, these models can hallucinate, and that simply means it can make things up. So if you ask it for a research article references for studying autism, it'll give it to you because these models like to please. But what you might not know is it's going to make up a reference, a citation that looks good. It's in APA format, but it's completely fabricated. That research never happened. You don't read it, you copy it, and you put it inside of research that you're doing. If you're a graduate student, you put it inside of a research paper you're doing, and now you're putting uh, fictitious things out into the world. So, what I like about Notebook LM, it solves for that. Again, it's giving you those resources that you upload. So, what's a good use case for this? All right, we're going to go back to Notebook LM, and I just click that button right there at the top. I'm going to click Create New. Now, what we're going to do, I have straight from the NAS website, who are school psychologists? Okay, and so I uploaded that as a source. It goes through the role of the school psychologist. It gives us that nice overview. And I don't know if you're ready for this, but hey, let's get into it. We're not gonna chat against it. That's like so 2024. Instead, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to studio, and you see there is a section, audio overview. Byron, are you gonna tell me what I think? You're gonna tell me you're absolutely right. A deep dive conversation between two hosts. But you're going to create a podcast at the click of a button. You click generate, and it's generating a conversation based off of that source that we just uploaded. Okay. You see the source, who are school psychologists. Here's the studio. This may take a few minutes. No need to stick around. So we could leave, we could go hang out and chill, whatever it is. And then you come back and your mind is going to be blown. So I'm going to pause. And when I come back, we are going to see magic. And we are back. And in just a few minutes, look, my dad used to always say I could show you better than I could tell you. Check this out.
Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Hmm.
Today we are going to be taking a look at school psychologists.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we've got this really interesting flyer,
Okay.
and it's called School Psychologists, who are with a question mark.
I like it.
And I think that a lot of people have this kind of preconceived notion of exactly what a school psychologist is.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not entirely accurate.
Right.
So I think this is going to be a really fascinating deep dive to kind of get into what they actually do.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
How cool is that? With literally the click of a button, we took our article and converted it into a podcast between two hosts that sounds very, very real. And then what you can do, you can click that to download the entire audio. If you want to share it, you can make this public or private, and then just copy that share link. If you make it public, just copy that share link. Then you can share it as well. And then the link has been copied to your clipboard. Then you could come back and continue. If you want to create another FAQ timeline, or maybe you just want to click a study guide as well. But this, you all, is hands down in this moment my favorite AI tool that's out there. Give it a try. Make sure you understand the privacy implications, the ethical considerations around this work. And once you do, and you feel comfortable and you make a decision, give it a try. Jump into Notebook LM. Let me know use cases, things that you might give it a try with. If you create a podcast, send it my way. I love to listen and check it out. Make sure you follow across all social media platforms. Until next time, take care, everyone.